All right, in our agriculture impact coverage tonight, we are taking a closer look at a particular moth that can create a real problem for area farmers. This is known as the black cutworm, and it flies in on southerly winds and then can land in area cornfields every spring. But their larvae are the problem. The larva eats part of the corn and can even cut through the plant itself, giving it its name. However, and we want to stress this, black cutworm damage is very unpredictable, which makes it uniquely difficult to treat. Here to discuss this pesky moth with us is Virgil Schmitt, Extension Field Agronomist for Iowa State University. Virgil, thank you so much for being here with us.
It's my pleasure.
All right, these moths can land anywhere, but when they do land in a cornfield, what can happen?
Well, there are several things that can happen. One is they could just be passing through. And the other, which is the one that we're most concerned about, is that they may stop long enough to lay eggs. And if enough moths lay enough eggs, and if those eggs survive, then we can have some problems that need to be treated in the cornfields.
And they can literally cut through the whole stalk of corn?
Yes, they can. Up until the plants are at what we call V5, which is 5 leaves that are fully exposed. At that point, the plants are too large to be cut off. So it's the smaller plants that we become concerned about. And the fields that earlier, when the moths flew in, that had a lot of weeds or a cover crop, those would be particularly attractive areas to the moths because they want to lay their eggs where they think there'll be something for their larvae to eat when they hatch out.
So how does Iowa State University and the University of Illinois track when these moths arrive?
Well, we have a group of volunteers in both states that are given traps, and the traps then are scattered around the state. And then what we ask them, the volunteers to do, is to check the traps on a daily basis and see how many or if there are any moths caught in the trap. If we catch either 8 or 9 over a 2-day period, then that's considered to be a significant flight, which basically means that if the moths did stop to lay the eggs and if the eggs survived, we may have enough injury that a treatment would be warranted.
So why can't we just spray or take other action to prevent these moths from landing in the first place?
The issue is that it is very sporadic. If I take a look at my own farm, in my previous 30 corn crops, we've had several significant flights that have come in. I've had to treat one time. And so if I decided I was going to treat the fields every year when there was a significant flight, 97% of the time I would have wasted my money, I would have wasted the product, and who knows how many billions or trillions or quadrillions of beneficial insects I would have killed in the process.
So have you heard of any cutworm damage around this area so far this spring?
Actually, I've heard of one in this area that came to me yesterday, and that happens to be the first one that was actually found in the state of Iowa. Now, this damage was so small that it was not even close to the threshold, and so treatment is not warranted, at least at this time. That's a field that they will watch and see if feeding continues. If it gets worse, they may have to spray, but right now, it does not look like it's going to really be a problem.
Which is great news, but if someone does spot what looks like black cutworm injury in their fields, what should they do?
Well, the first thing that they need to do is to take a look at the plants and make a count in terms of how many plants are being cut. If less than 2% of the plants are being cut, then basically you walk away from it and come back a few days later and do a reassessment. If there are more than 2% of the plants being cut, then what's important to do is to get down on your knees and dig around the plant a little bit and find the culprit. If the culprit is less than 3/4 of an inch long and there's more than 2% cutting, a treatment is warranted. However, if the cutworms are larger, they don't have as long to feed. And so if they're more than 3/4 of an inch long, then it takes 5% of the plants being cut off before it's time to pull the trigger and do some treatment.
A man with lots of wisdom to share. Virgil, thank you so much for being here with us.
It is my pleasure always.
And hey, you can find out more of our agriculture impact coverage on our website at wqad.com.